Ako, sige, ako pipigil. Ganun mo ulit.
枪不要拿去。就全了，放全了。
Uy,
Tapusin mo.
锅包肠。
Dito muna to.
Like to highlight some safety features for your safety and comfort. During boarding, the lighting of the boat will be docked next to the stairway at each stop. Do take caution while using the stairway, keeping your hands on the railing at all times. Mind the gap between the boat and the dock and step onto the boat, 1 foot at a time. Be careful of the wood and the boat, your head, and the 2 doorways located at the front and the back of the boat. While on the boat, do not put anything out of the window. For your own safety, do not stand on your seats or climb to the roof. Should a life jacket be required, you will find it underneath your seat. Slip it over your head and tie a knot with plates found in the car. Strap at the sides of the jacket and loop it once around your back. Securing the strap, tie the knot through a loop at the front of the jacket. There are 2 exit doors located at the front and the back of the boat, and 2 lifeboats in the back of the boat. Passengers should also be reminded that smoking is not allowed on board. Please do not disclose any information to the crew. If assistance is required, please contact our crew members. Thank you for traveling on the Singapore River Cruise. We wish you a pleasant journey.
让他给你传过去。
Wala naman pala ito.
Hello, and a very warm welcome aboard. Thank you for choosing to travel with us on the Singapore River Cruise. On this journey, you'll get to to unravel Singapore's gritty past, enjoy our vibrant present, and even take a glimpse into our exciting future. This river represents the heart and soul of our young nation. In fact, Singapore's fortunes began at this very river a long time ago and have continued to flow from it ever since. Now, if you've got your eyes trained, your ears peeled, and your cameras ready, let's get started. We're now traveling into the very heart of our island city, so sit back and enjoy Singapore's fascinating story.
Push up.
The area to your right used to be the site of Riverside Village, a plague-infested squatters' colony which housed the southern underbelly of condemned brothels and secret societies. Addicts, ladies of the night, and gangsters jostled for space in this once dangerous, mysterious place. But today, the building Riverside Point sits on the historical foundations of that notorious village. No longer dangerous and seedy, but a delightful waterfront dining oasis that boasts its very own microbrewery. Perhaps you'd like to return by foot to explore all these fun possibilities. Did you know that the paths along the Singapore River make up one continuous looping promenade that connects everything you see along the riverbanks? Take a leisurely stroll and soak in the atmosphere along the 6-kilometer promenade that flanks both sides of the river. As you take in the sights and sounds, you'll be comfortably shaded by lush greenery and definitely tempted by the many shops and cafes along the way. Look across the river and up to your left. See the lush green hill and the large tower overlooking Clarke Quay and the river? That is Fort Canning Hill, where Raffles built his own bungalow, Singapore's first government house. He also planted a spice garden, Singapore's first experimental botanic garden, to cultivate commercially imported spices. The hill was later used by the British as an arms store, barracks, and hospital, which probably led to its final name, Fort Canning. But way before the British arrived on our shores, Fort Canning was the place where ancient Malayan royalty once lived and were laid to rest. It was considered so sacred that it was known as Forbidden Hill. Forbidden because commoners were not allowed to visit. Of course, all that has changed, and now you're most welcome to visit Fort Canning to see the old British underground bunkers, and if you're really brave-hearted, explore the ancient gravestones that still remain on its shady slopes. Now here's a building that just begs for attention. See the one adorned with colorful windows on your left? Home to the Ministry of Information, Communications and the Arts, its multi-hued facade not only reflects Singapore's multicultural heritage, but also hints at the building's equally relevant past. Can you believe that this Rainbow Splash complex used to be the old Hill Street police station and was once considered a skyscraper? That was before World War II. In fact, the old Hill Street police station served as Singapore's earliest secure jail. And during World War II, it's even believed to have been a torture chamber. With such a vivid history, it's certainly no wonder the building was named a national monument in 1998.
Riverwalk.
On your right is Boat Quay and its stretch of colorful, quaint shop houses. It was completed in 1842 and is Singapore's very first quay. At its peak in the 1860s, Boat Quay handled 3/4 of Singapore's total shipping business.
Too late now.
The sheltered riverbanks made excellent loading and unloading places. Back then, the whole river was chock-a-block with thousands of boats transporting a whole myriad of goods to be traded by the merchants who had set up shop in that row of buildings on the bank. Some of those goods included seafood, spices, and rubber. The precious cargo was shouldered across gangplanks by immigrant laborers known as coolies. Blood, sweat, and tears formed the very backbone of
Grabe ka
our
naman.
nation's rise to prosperity. Wonder why all the shop houses are concentrated on just one embankment of Boat Quay? Well, legend has it that the Chinese immigrants chose to set up home only on the south bank of the river. You'll notice how the riverbank curves just like the belly of a car. In Chinese culture, this majestic fish is an auspicious symbol of good fortune and a great place to store wealth. These first immigrants believed that this part of the Singapore River was where prosperity and wealth could be found. That's also why many banks and businesses started up here and eventually developed this area into our current central business district. Where once boats lined the water's edge, today the banks of Boat Quay are lined with shop houses turned into restaurants and pubs. The facades of the Boat Quay shop houses have been retained, and their unique architectural styles give the district a distinct flavor. Notice how the shop houses are of varying heights? Long ago, this signaled the owner's wealth. In other words, the higher the building, the wealthier the owner. Perhaps these traditional beliefs have extended till today. Just take a look at the tall skyscrapers of Singapore's financial district towering over the Boat Quay shop houses. This is the perfect place for snapping pictures, so enjoy the 360-degree views and drink in Boat Quay's unique blend of traditional Asian values set against a modern and progressive backdrop. See how the shop houses form a charming contrast of Singapore's developing years against the skyline of a new Singapore. This truly is a uniquely Singapore sight. By the way, are you feeling hungry? Hawkers and their push carts used to line the riverbanks, selling local dishes that were cheap and delicious. A bowl of Teochew porridge cost only 10 cents. Better yet, side dishes were free of charge. Every day, the people who worked and lived at the river would eat at these push carts, sitting on little stools along the river banks. Perhaps that was how al fresco dining got its start in Singapore.
Alam niya yung mga style sa mga bibigay mo. Alam niya yung mga style na ano. Oh, ganda naman.
Directly ahead is Cabinet Bridge, completed in 1869 and named after Colonel Sir William Arthur Kavanagh, Singapore's last governor. It's Singapore's only suspension bridge to have retained its intricate original form. It was manufactured in Scotland, then shipped to Singapore later to be assembled. Unfortunately, the bridge was built too low, and boats had to wait for low tide before they could pass. So look out and don't forget to duck as it cruises under the bridge. Just kidding. Coming up on the other side of Cabinet Bridge, you'll see a group of little boys jumping into the river. Don't worry about jumping in to save them. They're actually incredibly lifelike bronze sculptures showing a scene from the river's past, where children would stand and wave cheeky from the houses. Very often they would take off all their clothes and jump in for a cool afternoon swim. Standing tall and majestic is the exclusive Fullerton Hotel, which blends the elegance of old world charm with every modern convenience. Built in 1928, lots of paper pushing went on behind the hotel's splendid columns before its glamorous makeover. Its facade is a masterpiece of neoclassical grandeur, which combines its much stuffier original occupants, the Chamber of Commerce offices, and the General Post Office, from which mail was transported along the Singapore River to and from ships. Since the 1950s, this was also the site of many political campaign rallies, but even longer before that, it was occupied by Fort Fullerton, built to defend the town at the mouth of the Singapore River. This promontory to your right used to be home to the Merlion, Singapore's half-lion, half-fish icon. The Merlion stood guard here at the river mouth for 30 years before it was hauled by barge to its new home in the bay in 2002. As we make our way out into Marina Bay, you'll be able to see the Merlion for yourself and hear all about its
This
story.
used to be. Oh.
As promised, up next is Merlion Park, home of the original Merlion statue. To understand our unique national emblem with the lion head and fish body resting on a crest of waves, here's a quick history lesson. Singapore was originally known as the ancient city of Temasek, which means sea town in Javanese. But according to legend recorded in the Malay annals, Prince Sang Nila Utama renamed it Singapura, meaning lion city in Sanskrit, after he spotted a lion on its shore. The lion's head represents the lion spotted by the legendary Sang Nila Utama, while its fishtail symbolizes Temasek and Singapore's humble beginnings as a fishing village. Measuring 8.6 meters high and weighing 70 tons, the Merlion sits on reclaimed land looking out to sea. She attracts millions of visitors a year who make the trip to Merlion Park to photograph this world-famous icon at her new home right here in scenic Marina Bay. Take a peek behind the Merlion and you'll see a baby Merlion. Believe it or not, its scales are made from pieces of porcelain repurposed for spoons, bowls, and plates. Next to the Merlion and her cub is a luxurious lifestyle dining and waterfront hotel hub known as the Fullerton Heritage that blends exciting futuristic projects with local and rural landscape of Singapore.
Oh, that's nice.
site is Clifford Pier, which was built in 1933 as a landing point for immigrants
这
hoping
儿
for a
你
new
看，就是
future
咱们路
in
过
a
那
new
个
land.
特别
It was also once known as Red Lamp Pier because legend has it that a red oil lamp used to hang from the pier as a company guide to weary seafarers. Mindful of its rich historical past as a bustling trading post and gathering place for cruise lovers and entertainers, Clifford Pier has been carefully conserved and now serves as the lobby of the Fullerton Bay Hotel. And beside it is Customs House, a charming conservation building from the late 1960s, which began as the Customs Harbour Branch Building, one of Singapore's earliest modern-style public buildings. As Singapore's shipping and trade boomed, it became the home of the Singapore Customs Police, tasked with watching over one of the world's busiest harbours. Further up, you'll see the magnificent Marina Bay Financial Centre, which sits on prime waterfront real estate at the heart of Singapore's new downtown and is an expansion of the Central Business District. Arguably the crown jewel of Marina Bay, this purpose-built financial centre combines the best in form and function, blending office towers, luxury apartments, and retail space, making it one of the hottest places to live, play, and work, as befitting Singapore's position as a global financial, residential, and entertainment hub. It's also part of the 3.5-kilometer Marina Bay waterfront promenade, which has become a popular scenic footpath, especially since this walkway boasts several unique design features. You can look forward to an uninterrupted experiential walk or jog around the bay. Do find time to explore the promenade, which links the landmarks of this beautiful bay area, including Marina Reservoir, Marina Barrage, and Gardens by the Bay. Also located along this fascinating waterfront walk is the Marina Bay City Gallery, which showcases the story of Singapore's urban transformation and the development of Marina Bay. Don't miss its touch-activated exhibits and innovative city model, offering a bird's-eye view of key landmarks in Marina Bay, which will help you navigate the Bay Area.
刚才已经拍好了。As we cruise down Marina Bay and begin making our way back down the Singapore River, have a look to your right at a Singapore landmark that really needs no introduction. It's the iconic Marina Bay Sands Integrated Resort, featuring a casino, hotels, and convention center, world-class entertainment and retail shops, all housed within award-winning architecture that resembles a ship atop 3 towers. Notice also the palm-shaped Arts and Sciences Museum and the unique Kiewitz Bridge. This 280-meter engineering marvel has been modeled after the structure of DNA and was inspired by the Asian concept of yin and yang, built to bring wealth, happiness, and prosperity to Marina Bay. This bridge will also link you to another awe-inspiring attraction, the Gardens by the Bay. Spanning 101 hectares, this award-winning super park is home to over 250,000 rare plants from all over the world. Enjoy the lush outdoor gardens, huge climate-controlled dome conservatories, and the towering futuristic super trees, which you can see from this distance. They're essentially vertical gardens, measuring up to 60 stories high and linked by suspended walkways with stunning views of the entire park. Living up to their name, the super trees also collect rainwater, generate solar power, and are venting ducts for the park's conservatories, which encapsulate the cloud forest and flower
Hindi
dome.
masyadong
Do you
makikas.
notice that the water here is very calm?
Ayun.
This is due to the Marina Barrage, which is a dam built across the 350-meter wide Marina Channel. It keeps out the seawater to create Singapore's first reservoir in the city, a vital source of fresh water and flood control. The Marina Reservoir is Singapore's 15th reservoir. It has the largest and most urbanized catchment area at 10,000 hectares, or 1/6 the size of Singapore. Just imagine, we're now literally floating in drinking water. Perhaps the very same stuff flowing out of your tap.
Floating in
Out
drinking
into the
water.
bay, you couldn't have missed the giant wheel in the sky. That is the Singapore Flyer, a skyscraping observation wheel that measures 165 meters tall, that's 42 stories high, and 150 meters in diameter. That's about the length of 87 Singaporean men lying head to toe.
Nasa
The wheel carries 28 city bus-sized capsules,
Oh, yeah.
each allowing up to 28 passengers, which means that at any one time, the Singapore Flyer can transport 784 passengers per revolution, which takes about 32 minutes to complete, rotating at a smooth speed of 24 centimeters per second. This engineering wonder provides breathtaking panoramic views of Singapore and the islands beyond. In fact, from on board, you can see up to 45 kilometers away. That's 3 kilometers more than the entire length of our island city. You'll also notice to your right two curious spiky domes unique only to the Esplanade, theaters on the bay. Because of its resemblance to the king of fruits, it's been affectionately nicknamed the Durians. But no worries here, quite unlike the
Durian, is it?
the Esplanade theaters on the bay
Yeah.
attract hordes of hungry culture vultures who get a taste of its many blockbuster productions. As the region's premier performing arts and entertainment center, it boasts superb
The bug,
showcases world-famous
call it the
musicals
bug,
and
they call it
features
the
popular
durian.
homegrown events like the Mosaic Music Festival. And to really top it all off, the Escalade's breezy rooftop gardens offers up more unrivaled views of the city and bay area. The green area to your right was once lined with lovely European-style houses that brought to mind the fashionable elegance of London's Mayfair. No wonder the Esplanade was a popular place for European settlers to see and to be seen. Back in the old colonial days, they would emerge from their houses to stroll along the Esplanade every afternoon. Here they would enjoy the sea breeze, exchange gossip, and perhaps even indulge in a little innocent flirtation. As a nod to our colonial history, Queen Elizabeth Walk was opened within the Esplanade Park in 1953 to honor the coronation of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. If you have the time, this path will take you on a pleasant, meandering walk through the park to other interesting national monuments. The bridge straight ahead of us is Anderson Bridge, named after Sir John Anderson, yet another governor of the Strait Settlements. This elegant arch displays an excellent combination of intricate plaster and metalwork, whilst its curved structure provides high resistance to bending force, which comes in really handy since it supports the heavy weight of vehicles zipping back and forth daily. As a gorgeous contrast to the skyscrapers that now mark beautifully preserved buildings that commemorate Queen Victoria, the Empress of India. The Victoria Theatre and Victoria Memorial Hall, which features the clock tower, are both historical monuments dedicated to the performance arts. Right next to them is the Empress Place building, which was constructed in 1907 entirely by convict labor. Previously known as the Government Offices, the Empress Place building is now also a national monument and home to the Asian Civilizations Museum. The Asian Civilizations Museum is a treasure trove of history and culture that will introduce you to the world of Asian traditions. The museum features over 1,600 treasured artifacts in 4 themed geographical zones and includes a Singapore River gallery dedicated to the history and people of our beloved river. Be sure to check it out for an even more intimate picture of the things you've seen and learned on this river. Up ahead and to the right, over on the museum steps, an enchanting series of sculptures tells the story of the Singapore River's development. Meet our nation's pioneers, queens, merchants, traders, and financiers, all immortalized in beautifully carved bronze. There are many other surprising sculptures that dot the Singapore River promenade, and if you decide to take an exploratory walk, we promise you won't be disappointed. Over on the right bank, you may have noticed a yellow cast in blinding white plaster. Englishman Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, the founder of modern Singapore. The statue marks the spot where Sir Raffles' sculpture first landed in Singapore in 1819. Back then, Singapore was only a sleepy fishing village, but Raffles saw enormous potential due to the location along the main shipping route between India and China. After signing an agreement with Singapore's then ruler, Sultan Hussein of Johor, Raffles set about establishing a trading post and free port on the island for England's East India Company. He developed a town plan, drawing up residential, administrative, and commercial districts along the riverbanks of this budding island city. The large building we're passing on the right was Singapore's first courthouse, after which it became Parliament House up till 1999, when the new Parliament House was developed just next to it. What is that strange disc hovering over Parliament House? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a UFO? Don't worry. What looked like something out of a sci-fi movie is actually part of the Supreme Court of Singapore. Now, this is Elgin Bridge, named after the then Governor General of India, Lord Elgin. Fittingly, the bridge served as a link between the Indian merchants on the north side of the river and the Chinese community on the south side in the days of our colonial past. We're now approaching Coleman Bridge, named after its Irish architect, George Drummond Coleman, for his invaluable contributions to Singapore's development. Appointed the first superintendent of public works in Singapore, Coleman brought with him an architectural style known as Palladian, a combination of Greek and Roman styles adapted for our tropical climate. traveling from the heart of Singapore and along its vital, vibrant lifelines. Thank you very much for joining us on the Singapore River Cruise. We trust in the enjoyable journey of the world's first environmentally friendly electric rowboats and hope you tell every friend or family about this unique experience. Show them around too. So until next time, from all of us at Singapore River Cruise, we wish you a lovely and unforgettable stay in Singapore.
Ay, yung spear, yung ikot na gano'n.
Slingshot.
Oo.
你看这个左右，起来了，我没看见，好像是。
Thank you. Thank you.